It is 420 and I am here with, appropriately enough, the head of 420MEDIA, Kerri Accardi. Good afternoon, Kerri.
Good afternoon, my friend David. How are you?
Great. It's good to catch up with you on video. We chat often, but we don't often get to record those conversations. So I'm looking forward to it. You have lots and lots to talk about, but today I think especially, given that it's 420, maybe we'll talk about your new project, which is debuting on April the 20th, in just a few short weeks from now. Tell us the secret. What do you got going on?
We have so much going on, David, and I'm really excited to be here. So thank you, because we do have a history together, and you know how long this endeavor has been on a personal and a business level. So I'm thrilled. Right now, we are in the process of premiering our cannabis omni-channel, and we're going to be premiering that on Roku, Apple, Android, Fire, Samsung, LG, iOS and Android apps, and online. So
Wow,
we are
that's a
really,
lot.
yeah. And it's global. It's global everywhere from China, except China, excuse me. And so we're really working on a global stance to educate.
So, all right. So before you get to the global aspect, tell me exactly what you're talking about. What is going to be on all those various platforms? What kind of programming are we going to see when we tune into Roku and all the others that you just mentioned on 420? What will we see and where will we go to see it?
So we have a new app that channel that we'll be launching. Right now we have information under A New Cannabis Channel.com. And that's not the name of our channel, but as you know, we want to go through our trademark process and make sure we're announcing everything properly. And
you could share that with us today if you want. You could sneak preview.
Sneak. No, you know what? As much as we love the MJNews network, we just want to make sure everything's protected legally. So we're not going to announce it just yet. But what we are premiering, I can announce. And so we have preface, we have 6 years of professionally filmed content. You're in some of that, and that is since the start of legalization. So from the first cannabis tour back in Seattle in 2014, upwards of airing, filming in the US Virgin Islands for their educational conference. What we're premiering with are 3 flagship series. So one of those is called Fifth Quarter. That's hosted by NFL former Super Bowl champion and cannabis champion Marvin Washington.
Marv Washington, who's quite a voice in legal cannabis these days. He was part of a very big lawsuit not so long ago, and is a leading voice about not just cannabis in athletics, but also social equity and some of those policies as well. So what are you and Marv talking about?
So Marv is actually the host of a series. So we're really able to give viewers through the eyes of an athlete, what cannabis is, what CBD is, learning from, different interviews. We have interviews with Marv and let's say Boo Williams, and they're talking, and Boo Williams is another former NFL player, talking about cannabis, football, suicide, pain management, friends that have had CTE and some who've even passed on. And so we get into really, really interesting and deep interviews. We have Marv in a lab learning how to make CBD. We have him in a pharmacy. We have him interviewing other patients and pioneers in cannabis. So it's really just it's a cool way to give an audience a view through the eyes of an athlete as he's learning and exploring himself. So it's really cool, and we'll go into season 2 on that. But that's one of our flagships.
Fantastic, that's really great. And what else do we have then? What you said there were 3. So what's
3? We have Nurse Talk. So Nurse Talk's hosted by one of our favorite people, Nurse Heather Sobel.
She is one of our favorites.
We love her. So Nurse Talk really gets into the endocannabinoid system, dosing different products, methods of ingestion, subjects like PTSD, or interviews with moms about why zip codes matter when your child is sick and you're trying to get them medicine.
Right.
So
So
again, really,
Nurse Heather is interesting because she is an RN. She is the head of the Cannabis Nurses Network. And so she works with nurses and doctors and medical professionals all over the world and has been influential in her and her husband, Ken, with crafting policy. I think they were with you in the Virgin Islands. So you've got a long association with Nurse Heather.
we have a long association. That's right. With a lot of people, David. And that's what makes this so special, because it's not just the amazing content that we have, but it's the amazing network that we continue to have to create this content that's so needed right now, which is education, and a place for brands to showcase their products and their services. Because as someone who's traveled for extensively for the past 6 years, I know for a fact that people are looking for these products, and they're confused. They don't know where to get these products. They're confused
Or what to buy. Yeah.
what to buy. I mean, it's a really,
Yeah.
it's a crazy time.
It's a
So,
noisy marketplace, as we like to say. Yeah, that's for sure. And so then that leaves us with number 3. What is the third offering that we'll see on 420?
so the third one is called Faces of Cannabis, and that's a profile series. It was filmed on a green screen. We have about 32, 34 pioneers, experts, athletes, and patients really sharing their story and insight into the cannabis industry. So it's really valuable and really insightful to see so many different ages, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, really just agreeing on one thing, which is that cannabis should be legal and that it's medicinal.
That's right. Yeah, cannabis appeals to all of us. So tell me a little bit about kind of what perspective, as you've been editing all of this content and going back 6, 7 years of events and panels and discussions and interviews. What are the common themes? What are the lessons we've learned over the first, 5 or 6 years of legal cannabis?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It's, for me, it seems that it's two steps forward, 3 steps back. And so, as someone who's watched the industry from on the ground with you back in Washington in 14, and then subsequently watching Oregon and California and others legalize, the way that regulations and laws and money have changed the dynamic. The noise is confusing, it's expensive, and as this industry is one of the fastest growing, we're still operating in an illegal space. And so there's a plethora.
Federally is what you're talking about?
Federally is what I'm talking about. But federally is the law when it comes to banking. Federally is going to take precedent when it comes to anything governmental. For example, someone can't even foster a child or adopt if they're using medical cannabis. So
depends on where you're at.
No,
where you are.
I actually don't think it depends on where you're at, because I'm dealing with people who are in legal states, full legal states, and this is an issue. It goes into the legalization, right? And so every time we go, again, we're going forward. If we're not moving the needle on banking, we're really we're moving and then we're getting hit back. It's like a physical thing.
Right.
So it's really an interesting
But
environment.
is it really 3 steps back? I mean, clearly we've made progress. I mean, in 2012, when we started MJNews, you couldn't go out and buy legal cannabis. Today, in 37 markets, you can. And in places like Washington State, where I'm talking to you from today, there are, hundreds of great cannabis retailers and even more producer processors out there creating great product at a reasonable price that's tested and packaged well, and covers all the varieties and all the different forms. I mean, from my perspective, that is progress.
Yeah, it's totally progress, and lucky for anyone who lives in Washington, because I'm visiting North Carolina right now, and we don't have that luxury.
Right.
I spoke to someone yesterday. I was shocked to find out that New Jersey only carries flower, and there was only 6 different kinds of flower in a dispensary. And so I don't call that legalization. Yes, we have made steps moving forward. At the same time, at a cost to many financially, at a cost to many for their livelihoods that have, built this prior, because as you remember, it was legal-ish in California for the past 20 years, in Washington and Oregon. And so, yes, absolutely.
Right, but I mean, clearly there are markets like South Carolina or Indiana where or Texas even where they're lagging behind, but there is progress, and there is discussions even in places like the Carolinas or Texas and in the most conservative states. Do you see any progress with the new administration? I mean, we've got now a very slim majority in the Senate and a majority in the House. And as you know, the Cannabis Caucus in Congress has been very powerful, led by folks like Earl Blumenauer and Cory Booker from New Jersey, and with participation of folks like Kamala Harris. So I think the social equity momentum that's carried in with a Democratic victory may signal some federal movement. I think that's being reflected on Wall Street. The cannabis stocks are up. There's a lot of enthusiasm. Do you share that? I mean, do you see that we're at a tipping point?
Yeah, maybe. I learned not to guess on the politics at this point until I see actual something change. It's just talk. Again, New Jersey legalized how long ago, supposedly? And yet, where is the action behind that? So you mentioned Cory Booker. Where is Cory Booker pushing that? And so I challenge those politicians that believe to step up to the plate, because what we are doing is actually, I believe in the people. And so by us bringing the education to the people globally and locally, we're going to empower them to then go and put that pressure, if you will, on their local governments to make the moves, not just to legalize, because you don't want to just change a schedule and therefore blindly go into something. We're already making rules and regulations blindly. People that are making the laws right now have never been involved in cannabis, and most importantly, most have never even been into a dispensary, which is disheartening at best. So what I say is, we're going to provide for those politicians, for those doctors, for other athletes that are looking to come into the space, and otherwise a platform for them to watch and perhaps engage with us and come onto this programming, so we can have these type of conversations in a public forum and look at those different perspectives and why something would work versus something else. Because right now, as you stated, we've been legal since 2014, and there's nothing consistent. There's literally nothing consistent for people to find anywhere across the board right now. And I find that really disheartening again. And at the same time, let us work with others, which is why I believe what we're doing is different than what has happened previously, is because we're not just coming in here to try to start a channel and come into the cannabis space, but we're actually working with experts and players that have been on the ground for years, pioneers, working with proper information, as well as year veterans on television and production and creative space, to bridge that together so we can bring this information to the eyes, the way people are used to seeing it via television and different production value. Moving forward, everyone in California can grow. They don't know how to grow. We're going to empower them and teach them how to grow the way the cooking channel taught them how to cook. And we're going to do the same thing, with cooking as well. So growing with cooking, with business channels like yourself, let's help boost others and work together so we can get this information out to the people seeking it. If the audience didn't exist, I personally wouldn't try to do this or engage at this level, and not for this many years. And so I truly believe, I am listening to Clubhouse, I'm listening to people on the ground, I'm having extensive conversation. And the one topic that's been consistent is we need more education, we need more education, we need more education.
So tell me a little bit about what you're doing on Clubhouse. I know you're talking a lot about your Clubhouse thing and you've got a regular date. What's up with Clubhouse?
Yeah, Clubhouse is, in my opinion, probably the best social app to engage and to cut through the clutter. So it's an audio app. You give a short bio on your page, you connect that to your Twitter, your Instagram. I cannot message you privately unless I go through those others. And so basically, as someone signs up, they're going to follow people that they enjoy listening to or different kind of clubs, and that will take them to what they call the corridor or the hallway, and that will show the different rooms that people are engaging with.
So you got one of these rooms, right?
Well, I don't have a room yet, so we applied for the room. So the room makes it official. Right now, we're holding, so because you have to hold meetups in order to even be able to get the room. So we've been holding meetings on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern about no BS advertising and marketing in cannabis. And so it's really about setting the record straight. And what's so cool about Clubhouse, I mean, Elon Musk came on the other day in a room. I've been on with Gary Vaynerchuk has come into a room, just different levels.
Well, you should get Elon to join your conversation. I understand he's a fan of both cannabis and Bitcoin.
420MEDIA takes Bitcoin too, and
Elon favorites.
Elon's on the list. I've talked to the universe. We've planted some seeds, so maybe soon we'll be able to have that conversation.
So I'm so glad that we're getting to catch up. I had the opportunity to talk to your partner Elizabeth last week or the week before. That's fun. Who else have you got working with you over there at the 420MEDIA shop?
Yeah, we've been working with a lot of people. So we have now, for clarity, we have 420MEDIA as an agency, and then the omni-channel is separate. And so we'll just call it omni-channel for now.
Oh, I thought I was calling it a new cannabischannel.com.
Or a new cannabis channel.
And that's so it's so hard. That's but they're all related. They're all 420.
They're an ecosystem. Everything we do is an ecosystem. Yeah. But the agency in particular
is like Saul. Ecosystem building. Saul K.
Did you see that?
I interviewed him on MJNews as well. So
Saul K's in our Faces series.
That's right. See, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of synergy. We know a lot of the same folks from the circle and circuit. So what else are you looking forward to besides what you're doing on your channel? What else is exciting you these days, Kerri Accardi?
Well, the channel is really what's exciting. So to add to it, Rheins, we have to let people know is what we did with those flagship series is we created a placement for cannabis brands to also reach their audience. So we created 100 spots out of those 3 series, and we are
100 advertising spots.
100 advertising spots, right? Just like television, you'd see a commercial, and so we pulled out some inventory and to share and sell to our colleagues that have products and services.
So you're saying if I'm a cannabis company or someone looking to be in a cannabis content environment, I can advertise and you're going to get me on Roku and Hulu and all those other crazy places that you just mentioned earlier? All
those crazy places. Times Square billboard, promotional advertising, PR, social media. What we're doing it's historic. I like to call it her story, as you know, but this is a big move of really setting the record up, right? And so I love the conferences and the meetings, but again, we have to be able to push it up where someone can access it TV, mobile, online. They know how, they know when, they know where. And so what we're doing is not only putting the channel out and providing a place for brands to advertise, but then we are also advertising the channel and advertising the
So do
series.
I need, if I want to participate, do I need to have a TV commercial already made, or will 420 Media do that for me, or how does that work?
Both. So we have options for both. If someone has a commercial and they just want to have that embedded in, we can do that. If they don't, we do have editors that are ready to take on commercials. So we'll have an intake form that will, take the brand colors and the
Right.
messaging, maybe some video or photo assets. We're not coming in to shoot anyone. These are based in template, based on the brands providing us with the proper content.
Okay, cool. Right. And I know you've got
And
already some.
it's lifetime value, because what we're doing is like nothing else, is we're embedding it into the series. So we're actually going old school. You might remember, it's like cyclical television back in the day before digital. They did embed commercials into it, and they would drop those tapes back off at the studios. And so we're in a cyclical kind of space right now, I'm pretty sure. And so we're doing that. So if the MJNews is in our, or they are in one of our series, and you're talking to investors or you're talking to clients and where you've been seen or what you've done, you're always there. And what does
Fantastic.
that placement mean for, a brand that's selling transdermal patches for athletes, let's say, or
Within fifth quarter with
I think it'd be a
Marv
pretty
talking about
phenomenal
all the aches
placement.
and pains. And that's really, I mean, that's a real legit association. And there are a
Yeah.
lot of, interestingly enough, there are a lot of celebrities and celebrity athletes and social media influencers who now have their own cannabis or CBD brands. So there really has been a mainstreaming of cannabis. I mean, everyone from Martha Stewart to Mark Washington, and everyone in between is starting to embrace the plant. That's got to be pretty optimistic for you, right?
It's everything for me. I mean, as you know, I started out as a strong activist, and now a strong businesswoman with a vision that's coming to fruition through a lot of hard work, perseverance, and passion. The plant, as I've always said, the plant and the facts stand on their own. We're just a conduit helping to bring this out to the people seeking the information.
Right on. Okay, well, we're coming to the end. What have I missed? What else would you like to share with the MJ News and Marijuana Channel One audience today?
Well, I want to share, please reach out for your brands. If people are looking to advertise and set up their brands, we have access through our channel. Our channel is high level. The people creating our channel is the same ones that created Barstool Sports or Outside TV. So we're legit. We're working with a lot of people behind the scenes, not ready to announce just yet, but I can say 100%, this is real. We're premiering on 420, and it was made for brands, David. It was made for products, and it was made for people to know about education. So I feel really strong that we're placing this in the best way possible for those seeking this information. And so that placement does matter. And like yourself, I'm listening to people and what their issues and where they're hitting a wall, and they're hitting it on how do I reach my audience? And what I can say is, as someone launching a channel with not a lot of other channels that have the same kind of content, we're going to be seen 100%, I know. And I'm making sure we're working with our team to provide content to make sure people are always coming back, because that content is so valuable. And then we added QR codes into those commercials. So over 65% of people are shopping and looking things up while they're watching. And again, really important when it comes to cannabis, when it comes to CBD, this is something people are desperate. They go from desperate trying to find information upwards of fun trying to find a dispensary location. And so I just really I empower people to contact me. We are looking to be the voice, or we are going to be the voice of the cannabis industry for reliability in the sense of on a global level, working with others in alliance is really a key for us and a key for people to understand.
Right
Thank
on.
you.
Thank you so much, Kerri Accardi, A New Cannabis Channel.com debut.
Oh,
.com debuting April
420media.us too. We got to throw 420 in.
420media.us and A New Cannabis Channel.com. And we'll look forward to the debut on April the 20th. Thanks so much for spending time with us today. It was really fun.
Thank you.
Cheers.